does a miracle and delivers them. Genesis 46:3. There's a big famine. Joseph's in Egypt. He's got 7 years of food saved up, and his family is starving to death. And his dad is an old man, and he didn't think he could make the trip, even to get down there to get the food. And God said to Jacob, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you into a great nation there. I got this. I know you're old. I know your descendants haven't multiplied like they're supposed to, but it's going to happen still. Have confidence. Have faith in me. Don't be afraid. Think about the story of the Israelites. How many times did they find themselves in trouble or do something stupid? We don't ever do that. We don't ever cause trouble, do we? But their life was just a series of crazy things that they did, and God came and bailed them out again and again and again. And they would be scared sometimes, and God would say, don't be afraid, you've repented, you've turned from whatever stupid thing you did. I'm going to take care of you. From David to Elijah, from Isaiah to Jeremiah, again and again and again, people found themselves in a scary situation about somebody going to kill them, or about lack of food, or about this or that or the other thing. Some of the similar things that we deal with, maybe we're not getting threatened to be killed, but we've got fears that I've already mentioned, and God has said, I've got this stuff. Let's move into the New Testament, because it's not just in Genesis where this stuff's being talked about. Think about the story of Mary and Joseph. I mean, put yourself in that situation. You have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and right before you decide to get married, or right before your wedding day, you find out that the girl's pregnant. And so, as the boy, it's like, abandon ship, I'm out of here. I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's a cultural taboo, for one thing. Everybody knows. And so Joseph, he's a nice guy, but he's abandoning ship. And so the angel of the Lord comes to him at night. I don't know if I have that text or not. Yeah, I do. Matthew 1:19 and 20. Because Joseph, her husband, Mary's husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her to public disgrace. That's the nice guy that he was. He had all the legal right to embarrass her, but he didn't do it. He had in mind to divorce her quietly. Verse 20, but after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I've got this. Again, I've got this. Do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. I got this. That's a scary situation to be in. But what happened? God did miraculous things. What could have been cultural calamity of the century in that little town, God made into why we're here today, actually. That's a huge story. Jesus, and we had this talk probably a couple months ago, but the commission that Jesus gave the disciples, he said, go. You know, they were used to being together, and now he's basically saying, scatter. You go here, you go here, you go here. You guys go spread this message that I've shared with you. Okay? And make disciples and baptize them and teach them. And they'd already had some failures, and so that they were scared. Was their fear justified? Was Joseph's fear justified? They had good reason to be afraid. But Matthew 10, 26 through 28, when Jesus is sending them out. So do not be afraid then, for there is nothing concealed. I've shared everything with you, he's saying, that will not be disclosed or hidden, that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, what they talk about together as a group, speak in the daylight, share that information. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body. They cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both the soul and body in hell. Jesus is saying, I am in control. Listen to me. Don't listen to the little guy with the horns, as Vantras mentioned this morning, sitting on your shoulder with a pitchfork and a little forked tail. That's not the guy to be afraid of. Listen to what Jesus is saying. And again and again and again, 365 times, he's saying, don't be afraid. Think about this one. They killed Jesus. Jesus is telling all these people, don't be afraid, and they killed Jesus. What would that do to you? Here's your leader dead in the ground, in a grave, in the cemetery, behind a big rock. And you thought he was going to be your leader and save everybody. That's what he was saying. I can't even imagine that kind of fear. I mean, I showed you those pictures of August, and I was afraid. You know, your kid or grandkid is hurting, and there's nothing you can do about it. And here, the disciples' leader, they believed he was God, is dead. Can you imagine the fear that they had? And so Sunday morning, the ladies go to the tomb and find out he's gone. And then an angel comes. And what is the first thing the angel say? Don't be afraid. We got this. God's got this. And in Matthew 28:5 and 10, it just shares that little snippet of a story. And the angel said to the women, do not be afraid, for I know who you're looking for. It's Jesus, who was crucified. And then a few verses, and then Jesus said, don't be afraid. Go tell everybody else that I'm alive and to meet me